Now, earlier this month, we travelled to Paris to record a presentation with Pascal Dubois, Chairman of the Loss Prevention Committee of IUMI, the International Union of Marine Insurance. In such challenging market conditions, Pascal gave us the marine insurers' view of whether the traditional concept of loss prevention is still valid in a changing world. This is what Pascal had to say.
Good morning. My name is Pascal Dubois. I am the chairman of the IUMI Loss Prevention Committee, and I'm very pleased and honored to be part of this TAPA conference. First of all, let me thank Mr. Thorsten Naumann for his kind invitation, and also General Secretary of IUMI, Lars Lange. Well, this presentation is about loss prevention, as I'm the chairman of the IUMI committee. This presentation will be structured in 6 parts. The first one will be dedicated to a few words about myself. The second one will be dedicated to a small presentation concerning IUMI. Third one will be around the main topic of this intervention, meaning is loss prevention still up to date, which is probably a very provocative question, but we will see all together. Fourth point will be the angle. First of all, I want to see and observe this, let's say, topic, which is profitability of the marine insurance industry. Fifth topic will be what I call the virtuous circle of loss prevention. And I will conclude, of course, with a few words about supply chain, as the main theme of this conference is about supply chain risks and supply chain resilience. Well, few words about myself. I've been working in the marine insurance industry for more than 30 years now, serving several companies, insurance companies such as Swiss Re Corporate Solutions or MMA Covea. I've been managing lines of business, meaning not only underwriters, but also claim settlers, operations, information system, sales force, and also reinsurance, and well, I've already said information system. So I have quite a large view of the industry within the industry itself. I've been also serving the French Federation of Insurance Company for more than 20 years, member of the Marine Committee of the Federation, and I've also been the chairman of the French Cargo Committee for several years. Let me finish by saying that I've been also a member of a different technical committee of the IUMI, starting with the Facts and Figure Committee and continuing with the Loss Prevention Committee. I've been chairing now for 3 years. That is enough for myself. Concerning IUMI, and let me say first of all that concerning IUMI, I am here because I represent the marine insurers, and as such IUMI is really the voice of the industry. This institution has been founded in 1874. We have already today 41 national insurance associations, 4 associate members, 19 affiliate members, and 21 IUMI professional partners. We are structured around technical committees such as the Cargo Committee, the Marine Hull Committee, the Inland Committee, the Fishing and Inland Fishing Vessels. We have also the Legal and Liability Committees, and so on. Well, the main services provided by IUMI are, first of all, statistics concerning the worldwide industry, and also education. We have now 2 main tutorials dedicated to cargo and also hull business, which are CPD certified, which gives a more credibility, reliability of the services provided by IUMI. IUMI is really representing the industry and the view and opinions of the industry. It's also a strong link to advocate the opinion of the industry. I'm also here due to the strong and robust and whole links between TAPA and IUMI, as you can see maybe on the slide. We have been partners, affiliate partners with TAPA for several years, and among the 19 affiliate partners, we have partners, very famous partners like AMD, Ajax, BIMCO, CMI, or Fiata, and also TAPA. So let me again thank Thorsten for his kind invitation. That is all for IUMI and myself. Let's start with the theme itself. Is loss prevention still up to date? It seems that is a very provocative question, but sometimes you can wonder if it's still really up to date to, let's say, do the business with the very old-fashioned ways, including loss prevention. Because when we are talking about, let's say, old-fashioned way of doing business, we can exclude data, technology, ESG factors, which is in fact, we will see, which is absolutely not true regarding the industry and how is the industry today. Well, is loss prevention still up to date? This is the point of view of marine insurers, but also the point of view of a practitioner of more than 30 years. When you're talking about loss prevention, most of the time you think of technicians talking about techniques. And you have engineers, former captains, surveyors, all these technicians talking all together. And sometimes you feel that you are very far from the reality of the business. I mean, we need techniques, but I mean techniques for techniques. It's useless. At the end, we need a goal, a target to reach. And we'll see there is a clear target to implement loss prevention in each action which are taken by the marine insurers. We will also include data and ESG factor. You will see that in loss prevention, this is absolutely key. But let me start this, let's say, presentation with a very specific angle. According to me, a business, especially the insurance business, but the business must be seen through the prisma of the profitability. And when I say especially the insurance industry, I mean that, of course, as you know, we collect premium on the very short term, and potentially we can pay claims on the mid or long term. So we absolutely need to be profitable on the long term. However, all industry must be profitable, but this industry must be profitable on the long term. And according to me, loss prevention, as all actions and all measures taken by this industry, should be seen and analyzed through the prisma of the profitability. Well, according to last statistics of IUMI, the profitability of the industry is as such. Let's start with the cargo business. The cargo business, and I take here only the, let's say, results of Europe. And why only Europe? This is the only region worldwide which is providing figures including outstandings. I mean, according to me, if you really want to analyze the profitability of an insurance sector, you need to include outstanding, not only paid claims, but also including outstandings. And within the premium, you have the premiums added to what is paid to, in fact, the intermediaries. Because as you know, in Europe, the insurance business is an intermediary market. So you have what we call a gross loss ratio, and according to, let's say, the average assessment of the industry, the break-even point is around 65%. And if you look at the statistic provided by IUMI, there is a slight improvement concerning the last two exercises, 2019 and 2020. But the slight improvement is probably not enough to be profitable on the long term. And especially if you include the period of the last 10 years, we are very far from reaching the profitability for the industry. So, unfortunately, for the cargo business, the profitability is not there, and measures must be taken. Concerning the hull business, the break-even point is more or less assessed to be around 70%. And if you look at the statistics, again, there is a quite significant improvement concerning the last two exercises. But if you really look at the, let's say, assessment at the final point for example, the exercise 2020, we are very close to the break-even point, meaning that even these last two exercises are not enough to provide sufficient profitability to the sector, to the industry. And if you take into consideration last 10 years, we are very, very far from being profitable. And this is a very cycle market, much more cycle than the cargo one, but on a very long period, 20 to 30 years, this oil market has not been profitable enough to ensure the profitability of the sector, and this is really something we have to take and to keep in our mind, to take into consideration. This is the situation of the profitability of the marine insurance industry. So this is not very bright, I would say. The situation is how it is. There is a slight improvement last 2 years, but as you know, and probably as you know, there are already new capacities entering into the market. So, well, probably if this trend is going on, the improvement cannot be or could not be, will not be able to continue on the midterm, not talking about the long term. Well, let's enter now in what I call the virtuous circle of loss prevention. My credo, my personal credo after 30 years of experience is that I really do think that prevention is an efficient source of technical results improvement. And I'm going to try to demonstrate what is my credo and why I do think this thought. Well, I don't come back to the technical results of the marine line of business we have been analyzing formally. I would say that, first of all, prevention is everywhere. I mean, in this world of pandemic, everybody, everywhere, in the medias, every day, in the families, we are all talking about prevention. And I don't want to enter into details, but prevention is absolutely key in our world. It was key yesterday. It's absolutely true to say that probably prevention will be every day more important and more influent in our daily life. Prevention must be taken as a real think tank. When I say a real think tank, I mean that in fact in these, let's say, occasions, when those people are gathering to talk about loss prevention, all topics about the industry can be, let's say, analyzed, concerned, and new ideas, visions, solutions are proposed. And this is really the heart of the industry. When you're talking about loss prevention, you're talking about every topic of the industry. And to conclude this, let's say, first part of the virtuous circle, you will see after the next forthcoming, let's say, minutes, that the virtuous circle, why I do call this circle a virtuous one, it's because I don't like this expression, the win-win, let's say, solution. But in fact, for insured, ship owners, carriers, forwarders, freight forwarders, shippers, manufacturers, for intermediaries, brokers, marine agents, and also clients. When I say clients, I mean insurance companies. We can, through loss prevention action, improve the efficiency and also the profitability of the industry. So let me enter into details. First point, which is absolutely key for all kinds of business, prevention is under total control of insurance company. I mean, we include whatever kind of measures, but I mean under total control of what we want to implement. Second point is prevention doesn't only concern one category of business. I mean that prevention concerns all categories of business, cargo, hull, and energy, offshore, etc. Meaning that the volume of premium, which is in fact loss prevention is based on, is large, meaning that proportionally the cost of loss prevention is really small, and the benefits brought by the implementation of loss prevention measures is huge. And so we cannot compare with cost of this implementation. Third point is prevention is not only after claims. When we are talking about prevention, most of the time people think that it is only after claims. And when I say people, I mean especially people working in the insurance industry. And this is perfectly, according to me, wrong. Most of the time you have these, let's say, prevention services which are dotted line or solid lined to the claim services. But you have also to take into consideration that in most of the times, for example, I'm going to give you 3 examples. Underwriters, many times, they ask for a pre-survey to better assess and accept a risk. And in fact, the pre-survey is really the eyes of the underwriters. And if they don't have this pre-survey, they cannot properly assess the risk. The second example I would give is the huge loss prevention programs, including in policies and especially in corporate large clients' policies. I don't want to enter into details. This is just enough to say so. And you have also concerning project cargo contract prevention programs are always including in project cargo contracts. So just 3 examples to demonstrate that prevention is not a question of claims or service after the claims. It's globally a topic which should be included in all parts of the relation between insurers and clients, not forgetting intermediaries. 4th point is prevention concerns every operational unit in companies. I mean, as we have I have just said, including underwriters, claim settlers, but also prevention, technical advisory, but I should include operation and also actuaries, because when you are talking about underwriters, I mean, nowadays the underwriters working in insurance companies, they have to write closely and in bilateral with the actuary services to adjust the pricing they give to clients. So this was the 4th point. I mean, total control, all categories, not only after claims, all operational units are concerned, meaning the improvement of the operational efficiency within the companies, making in fact that all services are working together. The 5th point is that also prevention, this is probably the main topic. Prevention is there just to get or to give a better service for the clients, because this is the idea. And giving such a better service to clients, you probably in certain cases this action can lead to an adaptation of the enforced regulation. I'm going to give you 2 examples. The example of firefighting systems on mega container ships, which is a topic largely worked by the IUMI with institutions like IMO or Ajax. We can also give example of the containers lost at sea, which is very updated topic today. And this is also a topic which is largely discussed between institutions in the shipping industry. So the enforced regulation can be adjusted according to prevention measures taken by, let's say, clients and insurers, because useless to say, but I prefer saying it. When you implement a prevention program, you need the very strong and efficient collaboration of both parties, insurers and clients. And this is what I call the complete circle, because at the end, if you can lead to an adaptation of enforced regulation, there is automatically, I would say mathematically, a consequence, which is the improvement of the profitability of the sector. Let me, I hope this slide will be presented. It's just a sum up of what I have just said and why I call this circle of loss prevention a virtuous one. I mean, all categories of business, insurers, all types of clients are concerned. There is an improvement with the implementation of loss prevention actions. There is an improvement of the operational efficiency of insurers, but also of insured. This leads to a better service to clients. It could lead to an adaptation of the enforced regulation, and finally gives a better profitability of the sector, both for insurers and insured. So, and again, it concerns all categories of business, increase the operational efficiency, better service to clients, and again and again. It is an endless process, which is, according to me, a win-win solution. And especially if you take into consideration 2 main crucial key factors today, which are data, technology, digitalization. I call that like that because, in fact, let me give you 2 examples. You can implement remote survey or on-time audits with, let's say, specific tech solution provided by companies like, I could cite companies like Survey Association in Denmark, Optimis in Africa, or tech like Wilmar, Concierge, and so on. I mean, UK companies, Israeli companies, French tech like Cine or Mitrisk. Well, in fact, for the very, let's say, standard cases, you can include this technology allowing the, let's say, higher resources of insurers to be dedicated to the more complex cases. And in fact, with that, you increase the efficiency of your prevention program and you reduce the cost. So, in fact, this is not a dream, this is already the reality with the company I have just cited, and I apologize for the company I have not cited, but these are very numerous companies which are already providing this type of services and insurers working efficiently with these entities. And on the other side, there is what I call the ESG parameter. And again, there is a kind of, let's say, joke over the market when insurers are talking about ESG factors. Not everybody, but some people are just smiling or laughing. It's just they say it or they think, and sometimes they communicate and they tell me, "Oh, Pascal, just don't laugh at me. I mean, when you are talking, insurers are talking about ESG factors, this is just communication." Well, let me say that it is absolutely not true, and I'm going to give you 2 examples. The first one is now these ESG factors are absolutely key for insurers. And the first example is the adaptation of the underwriting guidelines. And for example, in the former company I was working for, underwriting charcoal was not permitted anymore. And you have also companies nowadays cancelling their charcoal contracts, even if they are very profitable. And you have also other examples on the timber industry, on state-owned companies with certain states. And all these parameters are nowadays a reality within the insurance marine or the marine insurance companies, but I would say in the insurance companies. And if you include these 2 new parameters, which are, I repeat, key and crucial for insurers today in this virtuous circle of loss prevention, you have what I really call the efficiency, the improvement of the efficiency and the improvement of the profitability for all actors of the chain. Well, after this, let's say, topic concerning the loss prevention, and the conclusion is that loss prevention is every day more updated and up to date, excuse me. And maybe a discovery is for certain person, but according to me, it really serves the industry. We should implement loss prevention programs everywhere, every time we can. Well, I could not conclude this presentation without saying a few words about supply chain, because this is the main theme of your conference, and this is also and probably one of the most important topics everybody is talking about today. I mean, this is a topic that has a clear consequence over the world trade and over the world economy. Well, again, I'm here to talk on behalf of the marine insurers. So this is the view of the insurers and of a practitioner. First point I would like to insist on, maybe not a simplest idea, but a very simple one. For insurers, if you want to properly assess a risk, so to give an adjusted coverage and to, let's say, price accordingly a risk, you have to know it. And this is very simple to say, but you have to know your risk. And when we are talking about supply chain risks, most of the time we don't know what we are going to insure. What is the coverage for? For which actors? Are we including subcontractors? Subcontractors rank 1, rank 2, rank 3? At what level do we put the, let's say, the level of what we want to cover? Most of the time we don't know. And for insurers, this is absolutely key. If you want to properly assess and to properly cover a risk, you have to know the risk. Very simple, but in fact very complicated, because here I don't want to repeat what you know, but in a supply chain risk or in a supply chain, you have so many actors. Starting from the manufacturer, the seller, the shipper, the carrier, the freight forwarder, the ship owner, and you have after the manufacturers and or the buyer. You can have subcontractors at all ranks, all types of let's say actors can have subcontractors. So this is very difficult to assess the risk. And consequently, the let's say action of in fact the behavior I would say of insurers is to deal with supply chain risk through the prisma of liability, which is, according to me, something we have really to keep in our mind. Why liability? I mean, this is just a question of exposure, a question of capacity. For insurers, you have, and you have to understand, but you know that. The question is, what is my exposure? And when we are talking about supply chain risks, we are talking about liability of different actors, but probably not only. And this is why they are already on the market through major brokers, but also some companies, major insurance companies, proposing specific supply chain products to properly assess and cover the supply chain risks. Because I repeat, seeing and analyzing the supply chain risk only through the prisma of liability is probably not enough to reflect the globality of the risk represented by this chain. Again, ESG factors and technology are key. ESG factors, why? Let me give you just an example. Manufacturers working in certain countries, subcontracting in certain countries, manufacturing some product using some, let's say, using kids to work. So there is a question of human rights, there is a question of reputation, and without saying that sometimes you have also this climate consequences. So ESG factors on the supply chain is every day more important, crucial. The reputation of insurers are as all main actors, but I would say as all economic actors, very important. So ESG in supply chain, yes, every day more important. And data, yes. I mean, if you better want to know your risk, you should use, and insurers are already using technology to better know the risk, to better identify the actors, where is the goods, or where are the goods, or potentially what are the problems occurring to the good during transportation. Well, this is the absolutely need for insurers to use technology. And when I say technology, new technology. And the consequence is that at a lower cost, you offer a better service to your clients, leading to an improvement of profitability. And as such, again, if you really think to the overall process, not only of loss prevention, but globally of all the actions provided by the insurers, but also by the economic actors, the idea is to improve profitability, but through new factors such as ESG and tech. This is all for me today. I really want to thank you for your attention. If you want to continue potentially a conversation or a talk with me, you can have my, let's say, references through Thorsten. It will give you my email address. But I really thank you for your attention, and I wish you an excellent conference, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.